Alright, hi guys, I'm Isabella Jimenez and I'm testing for my 3rd degree black belt. Alright, so I volunteered at the Mariposa Center. The Mariposa Center is a therapy office. They specialize with working with kids, and it's owned by my personal therapist, Emily McNeil. She and the therapists in her office are capable of representing children in family court. They support families, and they also focus on cognitive and humanity ideologies of psychology. Cognitive is basically, it emphasizes how our childhood affects the things that we do later on in our life, right? So it looks into the childhood that we have and how you behave based off of that. Humanity is an ideology in psychology that focuses on improving the person, finding methods to improve from maybe bad habits or from those childhood experiences. So it's a combination of the two. Next slide. Right, so I chose Mariposa Center because I attended there when I was young. I think I was around 7 years old, or 6, maybe younger, yeah. And I met Miss Emily McNeil. I'm also interested in the career path. I want to be a psychologist. I want to earn my doctorates in psychology, and I want to potentially work at her office as a therapist and a counselor. I also wanted to show my appreciation. I've had her as a therapist for so long. She has done so much for my family, me, my dad, supported us in every way possible. So I just wanted to show my appreciation to her. So a little bit of context, Mariposa works side by side with another therapy company called Amaryllis. They've been working together for like 8 years, so they were really close. But unfortunately, Amaryllis had to close its doors. They shut down, and they had a bunch of stuff. A lot of stuff in their office that needed to be sorted out, needed to be organized, and needed to be cleaned. So that's basically what I did. I emailed her at a very fortunate time, because if I didn't email her at that specific time, I would not have been able to help or be able to provide her any community service. But I was very fortunate. So I cleaned and reorganized the office. That top picture right there, that's what they call the Doodlebug room. It's basically a kitchen/art room where the kids can paint and cook. So I helped reorganize that. That's the clean version. It was a mess. And I didn't take a picture of it, but imagine boxes everywhere, tools everywhere, right? It was an absolute mess. So I did a makeover. We also organized their closet as well. So this is the doodle board. It goes in the Doodlebug room. I made it. It's so that kids can hang their artwork. And go ahead, next slide. There is like the progression of the kids slowly adding their artworks to the doodle board. It took them a while at first. Miss Emily told me that they were afraid of messing up the doodle board. So the first one's that tree over there.
It's okay. You guys can hear me without the mic. It's fine.
Yes.
Yes. All right. The second picture over there is like a cat, and then the third is that little sunflower drawing. It made my day every time I walked in their office and I looked and there was a new drawing. And knowing that I contribute to the doodle board in the Doodlebug room. Go ahead, next slide. So another thing that I did was I wrote thank you letters to therapists. Right now we're in an age where therapy and mental health is growing, but it can still use a little bit of help. Counselors take on a lot. It is a lot to help these people and families, and it's even more so to help them in court. So they have a lot of burden on their shoulders, and I don't think a lot of people see what they do for the community and what they do for other kids. So I wanted to contribute to that. I wanted to contribute to their mental health, if you will. And I wrote a thank you letter handwritten to each and every one of them. I traced out butterfly, wrote their name, and made everything custom. And you'll see what they look like next slide. Each and every one, I had to cut out all the construction paper and write down my thank you to them. Next slide. So, the next part of my community service, this year is Friday. Say hi, Friday.
Hi, Friday.
he is their therapy dog in training. He is a Chihuahua, and surprisingly, he is the chillest Chihuahua you will ever be.
They're more chill than people think.
Very nice Chihuahua, right? Fun fact about him is when he gets excited, he balances on his front legs and lifts his hind legs up in the air, and the kids absolutely adore him. He's like integral, like important to the community. And what a lot of kids do is they write letters or they draw pictures or they make little crafts about him for him, and they don't really have a place to go. So me and my dad, he's helping me out, are working on a mailbox for Friday. That way the kiddos can draw something or write something and put it in the box, and it has a place, a home. Next slide. So total hours, I have 35 total. That includes making the letters and cleaning the office. And then 5 will be completed by this Wednesday, and that will be making the box. And it's at least 5 is what I'm predicting, because we have to print, we have to sand, we have to prime, and then we have to paint. So it's gonna take a while. So what I learned, with children, details matter. And we learned this in karate, right? We're very detail oriented. This therapy office, more so. Every single thing had labels, from which drawer was to which utensil to where the stool went. Everything had a label, and it was for a reason. And Miss Emily called me her therapist in training, and this was my wax on, wax off, was making labels for literally every single thing, because some kids struggle and get overwhelmed with many things. And some kids who don't have order in their lives need a place that has order, which is why we label things the way that we do. I also learned about the social and economic effect on families. Me and Miss Emily had a lot of conversations currently about Medicare and how people are struggling to pay for therapy. People used to be able to get 52 weeks worth of therapy, but now it's limited to 22. And for people who are really struggling, or people who really require it, that's almost detrimental. Next I learned was what it takes to be a social worker. I learned the hard way, the wax on and the wax off of the label making, but she also taught me that you have to be in the middle ground a lot, and you have to watch these kids grow from places of struggle. And it's hard to watch a kid go through that era of darkness when they're so innocent and they should be living their best life. Lastly, I learned more about my personal experience through her perspective. She tried her very best to maintain that middle ground, but sometimes you come across people where it's hard to do that, and it's hard to look at them in an equal light. So that's what she explained to me. And then next slide. So this is a big goal, and it's a long-term goal of what I'll be doing next time for community service. This is CASA, and what they do is they are court-appointed volunteers. They represent children, and they voice what children want. Unfortunately, I have to be 21, right? So that's why it's a long-term goal of mine, but it's why I want to volunteer. Growing up, it's a lot better now. So growing up as a child without karate, just imagine, right? It's hard to voice what you want, and it's even harder to get a bunch of adults to listen to you, right? I was lucky to have this school and to meet you guys, but not a lot of kids have those opportunities to develop their voice, which is why it's important to have volunteers to help them with that. And that's what I want to do. So as soon as I turn 21, I want to do that. Next slide. All right, thank you guys. Any questions? Yes, ma'am. My favorite part was walking into the office every day and looking at all the new drawings that kiddos would add. It made my heart smile to know that, I'm contributing to something and the kids are developing themselves. Yes, sir.
What is your next step after high school, and did this influence it at all?
My next step after high school, so I'm going to college. I'm going to be studying psychology. This, specifically CASA, if you're mentioning the influence, right? Cost of volunteering is going to help me get more experience with working with children, especially children who, I mean, if you need to be in court and to be represented, they obviously have something going on, and I want to be able to learn how to work with children who come from those backgrounds. So that's kind of my influence. Did I answer your question?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. And last one. Let's see here, Burke.
Why did you start therapy?
Why did I start therapy? That is my business. But yeah, I'm not going to go into specifics. I'll take one more. Mr. Hart.
How does CASA represent the kids in court?
So how they represent, they're appointed to a child. It's not very specific. I'm assuming that once I start volunteering, it'll go into more specifics. I'm assuming that it's similar to a social worker, where they are appointed by an authority figure, typically by a judge, who say, okay, this is what needs to be done, because typically judges have